She showed up on my ranch wearing stilettos that sank straight into the dirt, holding a lawsuit like she thought she could evict me off my own land. 10 minutes later, she learned I wasn't just another old man with a barn. I was the one who wrote the laws she was trying to use against me. And by the time I was done, her entire HOA would go up in smoke. Now let me back up. Name's Richard Callahan. Folks around here just call me Rick. 68 years old, former Attorney General of the great state of Wyoming, and proud owner of a ranch that's been in my family longer than HOA even existed. After decades of courtrooms and politics, all I wanted was peace. Morning coffee with the mountains, evenings fixing fences, and the flag flying high over the fields. That peace lasted exactly 3 years, until Clear Ridge Estates moved in half a mile down the road. They came in like a bad storm. Cookie-cutter homes, pastel mailboxes, designer dogs, and one hell of a tyrant for a president. Her name? Mallory Crane. Short blonde bob, yoga pants every day of the week, and eyes colder than a January river. First time we met was at the farmer's market. She looked me up and down and said, "That red barn of yours really ruins the aesthetic of our neighborhood." I laughed. She didn't. Wasn't long before the weird letters started showing up. Unsigned notes about visual disharmony, light pollution from my barn's floodlight, even claims that my flagpole violated wind resistance standards, and I ignored them until someone rammed my front gate in the middle of the night. No note, no witnesses, just tire marks and busted hinges. That same week, my neighbor Kyle, a young Army vet who bought the land next door, showed me a post from their HOA app. "We're restoring the beauty of our community," it read. "That red eyesore will be handled soon." Then the lawyer came. Her name was Cassandra Ridge, black blazer, briefcase too shiny for the countryside, and a face like someone permanently sucking a lemon. She handed me a lawsuit at my front gate. 3 charges: unauthorized structures, unpermitted utilities, and a non-compliant flagpole. I read the first page and smiled. "Ms. Ridge," I said, "I'm the guy who helped write the zoning laws in this state. This land's exempt from your HOA. Always has been." She blinked, just once, then said, "We'll see about that," like she had no idea what storm she'd just kicked up. I didn't go full cowboy just yet. Instead, I put on my blazer, dusted off my badge from my AG days, and strolled into their next HOA meeting like I belonged there. They were already projecting photos of my barn on the screen when I stood up. "I'd like to address this legal action you're all so excited about," I said. Mallory stammered, tried to shut me down, but the neighbors wanted to hear it. I told them straight, "This is harassment. You have no authority over my land. If you don't back off, I'll bury you in court so deep you'll need a periscope to breathe." Some jaws dropped. Others just looked relieved. I figured that'd be the end of it. But people like Mallory don't quit when they're wrong. They double down. 2 nights later, a rock came flying through my living room window. Taped to it was a note. "This is your warning." I didn't sleep much that night. Not from fear, but from fury. This wasn't a zoning squabble anymore. This was personal. I called up an old friend, Judge Renee Halverson, now retired. "Rick," she said, "get cameras, get documents, and get ready. Some snakes bite twice before you catch 'em." I took her advice. Kyle helped me install motion sensors and cloud storage, and just in time. Because what came next was straight-up sabotage. A new complaint arrived, filed with the county, claiming my solar panels were causing toxic runoff. Total nonsense. I'd had environmental clearance since day 1, but they were trying to drown me in paperwork. Death by 1,000 bureaucratic cuts. So I built a binder. Maps, permits, satellite photos, even expert testimony. And when the hearing date came, I walked into that courtroom like I never left. Mallory showed up in white silk and fake confidence. Cassandra was flipping through her legal pad like she actually had a shot. But when I laid out my evidence, when I said, "This complaint has no foundation, and I'll be filing for damages if this continues," the judge didn't even blink. "Motion dismissed. Cease and desist issued against the HOA." Mallory looked like someone slapped her with a fish. Cassandra didn't say a word. I thought maybe, just maybe, they'd slink back into their pastel paradise. But desperate people with power, they don't fade. They detonate. The next week, someone cut my fence, clean, like with bolt cutters. Cattle could have wandered straight into the road. Then came the arson. A small brush fire right behind my barn. If I hadn't come home early, I'd be rebuilding the whole thing. Fire chief said it was deliberate. And then, the night visit. Power went out during a thunderstorm. I looked outside. 2 figures by my shed. One had bolt cutters. I stepped out with a flashlight in one hand, revolver at my side. "You're on private property," I said. "Hands where I can see 'em." One ran. The other, Troy Mathers, froze. Worked maintenance for the HOA. Later turned out the runner was Leonard Ridge, Cassandra's brother. That was it. I called every contact I had. Pulled in my old PI buddy, Jake Russo. In 3 days, he found the money trail. HOA funds funneled through a fake consulting firm registered to Cassandra's husband. Emails from Mallory encouraging unofficial pressure. A full-on racket. We handed everything to the county DA. They moved fast. Subpoenas dropped. Bank accounts frozen. Mallory got hauled out of her house in handcuffs, still yelling about her community. Cassandra tried to run, but got disbarred before she crossed county lines. Leonard turned himself in, and Troy sang like a bird. Confirmed it all. The HOA collapsed in 2 weeks flat. Done, dusted, buried in their own lies. But the best part wasn't the headlines. Wasn't even the lawsuit victory. It was a letter I got from a mom in Clear Ridge. She said, "We've been fined for everything. Garden gnomes, parking too long, letting our kids ride bikes. Thank you for standing up. You gave us our homes back." I read it twice, and then one more surprise. An envelope marked settlement distribution. 75 grand from what remained of their HOA fund. I donated every cent to our local firehouse and veteran center. Let the money do something good for once. Couple months later, I got invited to speak at a statewide town hall on HOA abuse. Told the crowd the truth. This isn't about paint colors or fences. This is about control. And when people forget that power is supposed to serve, not bully, we stand. But my favorite moment, a little kid came up to my gate one morning, handed me a drawing of me in a cowboy hat with the words, "Thank you for being brave." That one's pinned right above my desk. So no, I didn't start this fight, but I damn sure finished it. And to anyone listening, what would you do if they came for your land next?